All right, now to give us more perspective, we're being joined by Dr. Gilbert Doctorow, who's in fact an international affairs expert and also an author and a historian. He's joining us live from Brussels. Now, Dr. Doctorow, thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us on this broadcast. And this incident that has happened, where a Trident missile test, which is a nuclear-capable missile that was tried by the British Navy, which has failed, and it has happened for the second time in the last 8 years. How concerning should this be to the British military establishment?
Well, it definitely should be concerning to them, but it's part of an overall problem that your previous speaker has set out very, very well. I subscribe to most everything that he was saying. Britain has lost its empire. You in India know that best of all. Britain has lost its ground forces capability, which are sharply reduced. And as you are now describing, Britain is in the process of losing what remains of its naval capabilities. But that has to be put in the context of the changing nature of warfare. Gunboat diplomacy today is not what gunboat diplomacy was in the Reagan years. You can't just take in an aircraft carrier fleet and rule a regional conflict. You can't. The availability of modern technologies, particularly these small, inexpensive attack missiles and drones, has changed the nature of warfare. But I'd like to bring in one other fact, which bears heavily on what you're describing, and that is the connection between what is going on in West Asia, precisely in the Red Sea, and what is going on in Ukraine. These two wars are directly linked, especially in the last week. The attack on a Qatari oil tanker, which forced the crew to abandon ship, and this attack, an attack yesterday on a British vessel in the Red Sea, highlight an enhanced capability that the Houthis happen to have, which isn't coming from nowhere. I would like to say just briefly that it's coming very possibly from Russia. 2 days ago, on the premier Russian talk show, which may be considered to be an unofficial voice of the Kremlin, the remark was made that two can play proxy war. The West is playing proxy war against Russia, and now Russia is about to play proxy war against Britain. Britain is the leading attack dog in the West's quiet war with Russia.
All right. Now,
and the British Navy is at risk.
Dr. Doctorow, just to go back to this issue of the Trident missile test, which is a nuclear-capable missile that just did not even take off because the missile apparently fell a bit of a distance away from the submarine from where it was launched. Now, this has got to be a core part of Britain's nuclear deterrence. The fact that this missile test has failed twice, what does it say about Britain's nuclear deterrence?
Well, let us say that Britain has a nuclear deterrent. I wouldn't despair of its overall capabilities of launching a missile when it has to. Nonetheless,
but it has failed twice in the last 8 years on both occasions that it has tried to test this missile.
Well, if Britain doesn't watch its step, it may watch a nuclear submarine simply disappear. Not because of a failure, technical failure on the British side, but because the game it is playing now with Russia. The Russians have spoken 6 months ago or more about their ability to sink one of these wonderful submarines at any time of their choosing. But of course, that risks setting off World War III. Now we have a new angle to this game. It's called proxy war. And if the Russians use the Houthis, we may find another one of those nuclear carrying submarines disappear, not for a mechanical failure, but under attack.
All right. All right, very interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Doctorow, for joining us and getting us that perspective there.
My pleasure.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.